Hey guys, how's it going? It is Jared Scoper here, and I'm here. Oh, wait a second. I may be here to tell you guys the top 5 right fielders in Diamond Dynasty. Now, again, this is just the live players, so let me just kind of quickly switch to live player mode. Now, there are a good amount of right fielders actually in Diamond Dynasty that are in the live series. So I'm just going to go over my top 5. Now, I kind of disagree with one of my picks, but I think that a lot of people like that person, so I put him in just because I feel like he's a very popular pick. My number 5 was actually Nelson Cruz, and the reason I put Nelson Cruz here is because as a right fielder, one of the more important stats is arm strength. Arm strength is very important because you have to throw the ball farther than every other outfield position. It's basically the same distance to second from every outfield position. Basically the same distance to home, and it's just farther from right to third than left to third. So right fielders want to have a little bit more arm strength than your left fielders. Now saying that, I left someone off this list specifically for that reason. You don't want people running on you. You don't want people getting extra bases. You want to hold people to as low amount of bases as possible, as minimum amount of bases as possible, so that it forces them to keep getting hits. You don't want just people getting extra bases on you because you guys don't have good arm strength. You want to make sure that, a single is a single and a double is a double. You don't want singles turning into doubles and doubles turning into triples. So if you have, let's say, a ball that rolls all the way to the wall in the right corner, you need to be able to get that ball in as quickly as possible so that double doesn't turn into a triple. And granted, they're both in scoring position, but it's online, at least in some of the games that I've played in. They're very close and they're very low scoring. So I don't know about you guys, but I play in very low scoring games, so every run matters. And if you get a triple in Diamond Dynasty, I mean, you can feel the momentum just kind of, going, okay, I feel like I can win this game now. So I prefer to have my right fielders have arm strength. Reaction is also important. The reason that is because they need to be able to react to get the ball faster. That's just obvious stuff. Now, one of the things you want from your right fielder is this is probably going to be one of your, I don't want to say better hitters, but this is going to be one of the power hitters in your lineup because of the fact that you're not going to have the highest mobility in right field. You're not going to have the fastest person in the world in right field. As you can see, Nelson Cruz, he has 44 speed, which really isn't good, but it's not bad. The 90 arm strength does make up for it, and 72 reaction does help a little bit with him getting to the ball a tiny bit quicker. And the problem is he does have 51 fielding, which means he's going to make some errors, which could easily be extremely annoying. But the reason why I have him in my top 5 is because of his hitting stats. Obviously, he's an amazing hitter. Now, I haven't used him, but just based off his hitting stats, the 85 power, 88 power, that's awesome. That's awesome to have. You put him in the 4 spot, and he's going to, hit a ton of bombs, especially against lefties. Against righties, maybe not so much. Maybe against righties, you put him down in the order, put him at like 6 or something, or 7, depending on your team. But I would say that he's, against lefties, he's easily a number 4 or 3 hitter if you wanted him to be, especially if he's on a 5-star. So that's my review of Nelson Cruz, at least just from looking at his stats. The arm strength helps out a ton, I think, and he's definitely a viable option to have in right field. Now my number 4 is going to be someone that I use probably for an extremely long period of time, and his name is Carlos Gonzalez. It's pretty obvious, I have him up there. Now, obviously, you look at his hitting stats, we'll just start off there. Basically, he has 84 contact and 91 power against righties. Just from my experience, he does, he's not always on a 5-star rating, but he does tend to be on a 5-star rating. So out of a week, out of 7 days, he's probably on a 5-star rating, like 5 or 4. So I don't think people are really going for gold players anymore, but if you're going up against a righty, he's a perfect option. He has a gorgeous swing. And And the other thing I liked about him so much was his fielding is 73, which, I mean, that's pretty good for a right fielder. His arm strength is 84, which, I mean, that's not bad at all. That's pretty decent. And his reaction 71, which is decent enough. And he actually does have enough speed to steal bases, which is actually pretty cool because, you know, you don't expect your number 3 hitter, which he was for me. If you're going up against righties, he's going to be your number 3 hitter. You don't expect him to really steal bases, and he can if it's on like a off-speed pitch. So I think that's also pretty cool. Definitely a solid player all around, especially when you're going up against righties. If you go up against lefties, you're probably going to need to get someone else because he will not perform against lefties. I think that's blatantly obvious. We're going to go number 3, and I think this is going to surprise a ton of people here. And this is Hunter Pence. Now, when I first looked at this card, I thought this card was going to be way in, like, at least a 90 overall minimum. Now, you start off with his hitting stats. You know, the 73 contact, 77 contact, that's not great. But the thing is that it's very balanced. So you can have him in against righties or lefties. It's the same thing with his power. It's basically just 5 off. I mean, it's so balanced that you can't just be like, oh, I'm just going to throw a lefty or righty against him, and that'll work. You know, either way, you're going to get, it's going to be very consistent for you. The things that do change are his hot zones. That's something to pay attention to. But other than that, he does have 88 clutch, which, I mean, if he's batting in, you know, the 9th inning, I believe that is, or clutch situations just in general, he's going to perform. The one thing that stands out to me, guys, is by far the fielding and the speed. So the fielding is 81 and 87 arm strength. That's awesome. He's probably one of the better fielding right fielders in the game. 85 reaction is awesome. I would say he's probably the best fielding right fielder in the game. I think he is. So at least that's viable to play online. The 80 speed is awesome. He easily can steal bases. He's going to get to the ball quickly. He's going to get it in quickly. If you needed to bat him at like the end of your order, you could easily do that. And the thing is he's not even going to be bad for you. He'll be solid. Solid enough to you can play him, and you know maybe just have him on your defensive. You know, have him playing defense instead. Maybe have like who was it, like Nelson Cruz or something, batting for the playing for the first 7 innings, and then let's say you're up by a run or two, you just put in Hunter Pence for Nelson Cruz, and you know he could easily hold the right field position down. So I love this card. One of my favorite cards. The only reason I never used him was because I got the Carlos Gonzalez for free in the beginning of the game. So I never had a chance to really use this card. But definitely one of my favorite cards that I've seen. Okay, so I'm going to go number 2. And this is the card that me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of. I know a lot of people like it. I've looked at it, and I can understand why. You're going to look at the hitting stats, you're going to say, he basically has 99 power all around. If he's on a 5-star day, he's going to have 99 power. Even a 4-star day, he's going to have 99 power. And that's awesome. That's going to be awesome. But the problem is that, well, I mean, his fielding stats, his fielding is way above what it should be. There's no way he has 83 fielding. I've seen him field so many times before, and he's so lazy. He does not give 100%, at least when I've seen him play. Now, I don't watch the Marlins play too much. Sorry. And so I guess maybe I'm wrong. But when I've seen him play, he does not look like he gives it 110%, like 83 fielding. Like it looks like he's probably around like a Nelson Cruz kind of deal. So other than that, you have 62 reaction, which really isn't. I mean, that's not horrendous. But the 56 speed doesn't really help too much. I mean, decent amount of speed, not a great amount of arm strength for someone that's as strong as he is. He's the strongest player in the MLB, and he's just doesn't have the arm strength. The vision at 25 is horrendous. MLB did not did not destroy it. They should have destroyed this card a while ago because he was just not good. And for some reason, they thought it would be a good idea to keep him around for a little bit. And it's actually really annoying because he did not deserve to be a diamond for as long as he was. I don't even know how many home runs he has right now. I'm actually going to look that up really quickly. But it used to not even be close to the league leaders, which was like really annoying for me because why would you have this card have 99 power basically in both stats, but not even come close to whatchamacallit, the like leading the league in home runs. So he has 22 home runs right now, which is good enough for him to tie for 25th. So there's a 7-way tie for 25th. I mean, I don't know. For me, it's just how is he tied for 25th? But then you have like Mark Trumbo with like 9 more home runs actually, and his power is nowhere near. No, I guess that's actually pretty good. Never mind, I stand corrected. But Jay Bruce maybe? Where's Jay Bruce in this? I mean, Jay Bruce has more home runs. Jay Bruce has 26, and his power is literally both less than him. But anyways, back to the card. I don't want to complain too much about it. In the short story, he has 99 power. He's going to be a ridiculous powerhouse for you. Put him at the 4 spot, he's going to hit a ton of home runs if you can make contact. The only problem is going to be making contact. His contact is low, and his vision is low. So you're just going to be using power, and hopefully he makes good contact, and that's going to be literally it. And I guess you're going to need some of those players. So it's going to bring me to my number 1 right fielder. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about who else I could put in right field too, so don't just leave after this. Bryce Harper. Now I know I say a lot of the times like, oh, don't just get confused about the overall and actually look at the player's stats. Well, I looked at his stats. Now I'm not the biggest fan of him because he does have a little bit of an attitude problem, which, I mean, he's young, he's 23, he's going to make mistakes. But other than that, I mean, let's just look at his stats right now. 95 power against righties, which is huge because, I mean, you play against righties a lot more. 86 against lefties isn't too bad. The contact actually isn't as bad as I thought it would be, especially since his average was down a lot. One of the reasons his average was down so much was because of the fact that teams would just walk him on purpose, and it got to him, I guess. I literally have no idea. He would start swinging at things that he wouldn't normally swing at just to see if he can get a hit because he kept getting walked and he didn't like it. So, his hitting stats are solid. Discipline is awesome. You can check swing a ton if you want to. His clutch is 82, which is definitely good enough. 60 vision, which, I mean, that's good enough to do what you need to do. The fielding stats are actually pretty impressive with him. I like this. Now, I don't know how good of a fielder he is because I don't watch too many Nationals games. But 69 fielding, that's not really anything special. But the one thing I like is his arm strength and arm accuracy. A lot of the other infielders didn't have good arm accuracy, which granted isn't like too big of a deal. For outfielders, for some reason, I've noticed that you can have like 50 arm accuracy and you're fine. But the one thing that's wrong with my controller is that it literally just can't hold a charge. No, but the one thing with him is that he has 83 arm accuracy, so he's going to hit the cutoff man and everybody every time, basically. His 74 reaction is awesome to have because a combination of 74 reaction and 67 speed means he's going to get to the ball relatively quickly. So he's going to be a solid. I mean, obviously he's Bryce Harper. He's a solid player, great player. But I mean, still his fielding stats are really good. He does have decent base running stats, and his power stats are really good too. Now, you're not going to really get on base. You're not going to steal with him too much, but speed is definitely more important because that's how you're going to get to the ball quicker in the outfield. That'll cut people down from getting from second to third or first to second. So Definitely important to have speed still, even though he's not going to really get too many singles to steal bases. Now, I want to talk more about right fielders. Now, this card right here, Yoenis Cespedes, I think is by far the best right fielder you can get in the game right now. That's probably wrong. I'm going to actually lie about that. I think the best right fielder, wait, what was it? Was it this card or was there another card? Oh, it's just both Dave Winfields. I mean, there's a whole bunch of other cards. Dave Winfield is amazing at fielding too. Um, you could probably go stat by stat. I think Alex Rios is probably the best right fielder because he is so balanced at everything. This card is ridiculous, and I would love to use this card, and I actually might get it. Now that I realize it's only like 20k. Anyways, back to my boy Yoenis Cespedes. I think could be the best right fielder in the game. Just like Harper, his power stats are definitely high. Not as high as Harper's, but still really good. His contact, I believe, is exactly the same. His speed is exactly the same. I think his stealing and base running are a little bit lower, but I mean, it's stealing, and they're both low. But the thing that Cespedes has is his fielding stats are way better. Now, I know Cespedes is not the best fielder. His fielding should not be 89. He has a couple of boneheaded mistakes here and there all the time, I think at least. And I see it when I'm seeing some of the replays of Mets games where he will just simply make boneheaded decisions, and I'm like, dude, it's hard sometimes. But for some reason, his fielding is 89, but his arm strength is 98, which you can't argue with. He has an amazing arm. 88 arm accuracy, I don't know. I haven't seen him miss too often. His reaction is 74, which is good enough. He's a better fielder than Harper. He's a little bit not as strong as Harper, but still an awesome hitter. So I would suggest Cespedes is better. He's also cheaper by far. So definitely, if you're gonna get Harper, I would say get Cespedes instead. Other right fielders. There's not too many left fielders. A lot of the left fielders don't have as good of arms. A lot of center fielders also don't have as good of arms. So really, you're not going to have too many other right fielders other than that. So I just want to go over a little bit more. I haven't done a YouTube video in a while, and that's because I've been busy with work and just literally everything, and I've just been dead lately. So I didn't do Mookie Betts. Now the reason I didn't do Mookie Betts was because granted he's an amazing hitter and he's extremely fast, great reaction, but the arm strength is what kills him. Granted you can, at least my strategy when I'm playing, someone's got to show. When I play on big field, I play in Forbes Field, which I think may be one of the biggest fields, and literally if I hit the ball to the wall, I'm going to get a triple if Mookie Betts is in right field. And the triples are so huge compared to doubles in Diamond Dynasty games. So, granted, he's a great hitter, and you know, if you wanted to play him at second base, don't play him in right field. He'll probably be like a 99 overall at second base. He'll probably be the best second baseman you can get, honestly. He's probably the most bad. He probably is. Granted, his fielding's not good, and he's going to mess up a ton. But I think his hitting stats and his speed stats would definitely make up for the fact that he wouldn't be a great fielder. I didn't do Jose Bautista. Now this one was hard. He didn't have as much power as Giancarlo Stanton, and he wasn't as good of a hitter as Cruz or fielder as Cruz. And he didn't have the speed to really make up for it. So all in all, he just wasn't a good fielder. He has 86 arm strength, which is good. But that's literally all he has, and he's going to hit the ball hard. So if you were going to use this card, put him at first base or maybe even third if you wanted to. Don't put him in the outfield. He's not good enough to be in the outfield. I don't want to really go over this guy too much. Granted, he could have easily been in here. I think his contact was a little too low and his power stats didn't really make up for it. Now, what I mean by that is... I mean, his contact is basically just as high as, like, everyone else's contact. But, you know, I'm lying about this. I think I'm lying about this. Yeah, I would much rather have Hunter Pence, actually. They're about the same stats. He's just a little bit more of a power hitter. His vision's a little bit lower. And his arm accuracy isn't high either. But I would much rather have Hunter Pence because the speed is a little bit higher. His contact is higher, Hunter Pence's, and Springer's power really isn't overwhelming, so it's not gonna be a huge thing. But if you were to take out you can interchange George Springer with a lot of these guys. You could do it with Carlos Gonzalez because Gonzalez isn't good against lefties. But other than that, that's basically that. So that's going to be the end of this video. I'm a little rusty because I haven't done this in forever, and I'm going to try and do more. But I gotta get back into this game. I haven't played it as much lately. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Let's see. I don't know what else there is to do. So I gotta find more things to do in this game, and then hopefully I can bring you guys that. I may go over just the top players in general. At least maybe for me, I might do that and see how that goes. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and leave in the comment section what you guys think. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. So see you.